project, we are going to create what we're going to call a generic sports logo. And if you would go and grab your ellipse tool, we're going to start off by creating a circle. So make sure you hold the shift key while you do that. And we're going to use some precise values. So notice right here in my properties panel, I can look at the transform group right here. And I'm going to set the width of this to 550. Now I'm going to click this chain link right here. So if I adjust the width, the height will proportionally adjust as well. All right, now what I'm going to do is use my alignment option in order to center this in the artboard. And for now, I'll center it vertically as well. And I'm going to make sure that it's a black fill with no stroke. So make sure that your stroke is turned off right here. Eventually, we're going to change the colors, but we'll keep it black for now. Then I'm going to click on my shape tool right here. I'm going to create a rectangle that is the same width as my circle. All right, so you'll see right here, it's 550 pixels, and I'm just gonna make this a nice even number, so 150 pixels tall. But notice right there, it adjusted my width proportionally. So now I need to uncheck the link, and I'm gonna make that 550. So it's not that there's a right or wrong setting right here, it's just what are you trying to do. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to position this so that it is in the middle of the circle. All right, now if I press Command Y, what I want to do is make it so that the middle of the rectangle is at the bottom of the circle right there, and my smart guides will help me do that. All right, Command Y to turn that back on. Now I'm going to press A or click on my direct selection tool to click on this one anchor point, and I'm going to press the Shift key and press the right arrow 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to do the same on this side, only to the left. 1, 2, 3. Now I've created this sort of trapezoid figure that's at the bottom of the circle. Next, what we're going to do is use our selection tool to group both of these, and we're actually going to choose our colors. So we're going to make it Glenbrook South themed, so I'm going to make this a blue fill. I'm going to go with sort of like a lighter blue, like so, and I'm going to add a stroke to this. But notice what happens when I add the stroke, and I'm going to make it a 25 point stroke that is going to be centered on the stroke. So not on the inside like this and not on the outside like this, but centered like so. I get this line crossing right here, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unite these together. Right? So click to unite. Now I have this nice shape like so. And I want to make this a gold stroke. So I'm going to double click on my stroke color right here and come into the gold color right here and make it sort of Glenbrook Southy. Make it a little bit golder right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and create a rectangle that is has no fill. All right, so I'm going to actually switch this so it's got the yellow fill. Sorry, I want a yellow fill. I want no stroke, like so. All right, so this is going to create 2 areas where we can add text. One in this trapezoid region here, and then one right here. And next thing that we're going to do is make sure that that is centered. Now notice that I'm going to select both of these, and I want to make sure that the midpoint of this rectangle is at the base of the path right in here. So I can make sure that it is right there, and I'll make sure it's centered on the artboard, and I'll press escape if I get into that mode. Notice right here, if I double click, I sort of enter right here, press escape to get out of that, and then Command Y to go back into this view. And now I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to group them together, and I'm going to center them horizontally and vertically. Now that I've added the trapezoid, notice the circle that was in the middle gets bumped up a little bit. Final couple steps are going to be to create our type in the middle. So I'm going to click right here. I'm going to make a big S for Glenbrook South, and I'm going to expand this to make it nice and large. And I want to use that Varsity Team font that we downloaded previously. By default, you'll probably set to Myriad Pro or some other font. We're just going to search for it after we have it installed, like so. And I want to use nice round whole numbers, so I'm going to use a font size of 425, and I want the color right here to be that same gold. So I can click on my eyedropper tool, and I can click on this yellow in order to make it match perfectly. All right, then I'm going to make sure that this is centered, the text is centered, and then aligned to the center right here. And I'm going to have to eyeball it because the height of a text box isn't necessarily going to be geometrically perfect. I'm going to have to eyeball it a little bit to get it where I want it to be. All right, finally, what I'm going to do is use a complementary font, all right, in order to write the word Glenbrook South right here, and then I'm going to write a team or club name right here. All right, so I'm going to click outside of it right here. Notice that font is way too big, so I'm going to change the font itself to Arial Black, and I'm going to change my font size to, let's just make it 50 for now, and I'm going to write Glenbrook in all caps, Glenbrook South, And sorry about that message. I'm going to put it here. Notice like that doesn't really fit so well. So I'm going to decrease my font size even further so that it fits. And I think probably what we're going to do, I'm going to change this up. I'm going to write Glenbrook here. I'm going to make that big again. All right, so let's boost that up to, let's make it 60. All right, so 60 right here. Use my eyedropper tool to set the color again. And then I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to write south. All right, again, all caps, and I'm going to make this the same color. But notice right here, when I select the eyedropper, it's inherited the stroke properties as well, so I can't really see anything. So I just need to set my stroke down to 0 or make it transparent, and then place this right here. But notice that this is competing with that a little bit too much. It doesn't really fit in that box. So what I'm going to do is make this a little bit smaller down here to about size 50 so that it feels like it fits a little bit better. And I'm going to adjust the tracking. I'm going to space this out just a little bit here. And then make sure it's all lined up. I actually like the tracking setting right there as well, so I'm going to make that 50 as well. All right, so then take a couple more minutes to just sort of finalize everything and save it and submit.